The Galactic Academy of War stood at the center of the Orion Alliance, a place where future commanders from 1,000 worlds learned the history of conflict. Inside Lecture Hall 7, students from dozens of species settled into their seats as Professor Vane prepared today's lesson. The topic displayed across the massive holoscreen. The most dangerous warriors in recorded history ****. A quiet murmur spread through the room. Near the back sat a human cadet named Ethan Ward. At just 19 years old, he looked younger than most students. His uniform was plain, his posture relaxed, and his expression almost bored. Several alien cadets glanced at him and laughed. Humans always look so fragile. He's probably never seen a real battlefield. Too young to have done anything important. Ethan ignored them. Professor Vane activated the first slide. The room instantly fell silent. A photograph appeared above the stage. It showed a young human standing amid the smoking ruins of a shattered city. Behind him burned enemy war machines. The image carried the date of one of the bloodiest conflicts in galactic history. The face in the photograph belonged to Ethan Ward. The class stared. Then stared again. One student finally raised a trembling hand. "Professor, isn't that the human sitting in the back?" Professor Vane nodded. "It is." The room exploded with confusion. "That's impossible. The war ended decades ago. How can he be here?" Professor Vane silenced them with a gesture. "The individual in this image is Commander Ethan Ward. During the Titan incursion, he became the youngest military strategist ever recorded. At age 17, he led the defense of 3 star systems after the destruction of senior command." Every eye turned toward Ethan. The young human looked uncomfortable. The professor continued. When the Titan swarm invaded Alliance space, military projections estimated total defeat within 6 months. Another slide appeared. It showed countless enemy fleets. They possessed superior weapons, larger numbers, and near-perfect tactical prediction systems. The next slide appeared. Across it were only 2 words. Ward's Gambit ****. The classroom grew quiet. Professor Vane spoke carefully. Commander Ward realized the Titans relied too heavily on predictive algorithms. Instead of fighting logically, he began making decisions no computer could anticipate. Images flashed across the screen. Human ships attacking impossible targets. Fleets deliberately abandoning favorable positions. Supply vessels used as decoys. Entire battle groups appearing where no strategist would send them. The Titans believed humanity was making mistakes, the professor explained. In reality, every apparent error was bait. Another slide appeared. It showed hundreds of Titan warships trapped inside a collapsing nebula. Gasps filled the room. One battle destroyed nearly 40% of the invasion force. The students looked back at Ethan with growing disbelief. Professor Vane moved to the final slide. The image showed representatives from dozens of worlds signing the peace treaty that ended the war. Standing in the center was Ethan. Still 17 years old. "The Titan incursion ended 73 years ago," said the professor. Commander Ward remains alive because he later volunteered for an experimental relativistic exploration program. Due to time dilation, only 2 years passed for him while decades passed for the rest of the galaxy. The classroom became completely silent. The same cadets who had mocked him moments earlier could barely meet his eyes. Finally, one student asked the question everyone was thinking. "If you're one of the greatest commanders in history, why enroll as a cadet?" Ethan smiled slightly. For the first time, he stood. "Because history is dangerous." The room listened. People who think they know everything eventually stop learning. He glanced at the giant image of himself still hanging above the stage. That kid on slide 1 won a war. The next one might be harder. With that, the legendary commander sat back down. No one laughed again. And for the remainder of the lesson, every student paid attention to the youngest-looking warrior in the room, the one whose face appeared before the title slide had even finished loading.